Right, so AEW Grand Slam Australia is tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever. It's in the land down under. And this is obviously the replacement for Collision, and frankly, what a card. It's pay-per-view worthy as expected from Grand Slams, but I cannot wait for this. I love Grand Slams. Grand Slam Mexico last year was one of my favorites, but Grand Slam Australia last year too was incredible, and the way they've built this, it's going to be incredible. Let's get into it because I really can't wait to talk about this. So, we actually do have the card. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Continental Championship match between Konosuke Takeshita and Jon Moxley. Now, this has been built up a while, basically inciting a war between both Death Riders and Don Callis family. I don't know who wins this. I feel like Takeshita winning it progresses a lot more with Takeshita and Okada. But then it's what you do for Revolution. I still think they're going to do Anarchy in the arena at Revolution, basically. So it feels like that's the natural progression. I feel like they're going to give it to Takeshita. I feel like the matches, we've already seen Moxley and Takeshita before, so we all know how good that is. This I can't wait for. I love Takeshita, I love Moxley, I love the story they're going for. I would love it if it's Continental rules, so you can't really have any involvement. But, I hope they do, just really build this up. I wouldn't have this start. I think this should be, honestly, whatever the order is, it's going to be great. I cannot wait for this. I think Takeshita will take it. It's a hard one to call because Moxley's Continental reign seems like it has got more legs in it, but Takeshita feels like the logical thing to take everything forward. And if we're going to take stuff forward, I think now you've got to start planning from a very far away distance for All In. And I think Takeshita should have a belt by then. And I feel like if it's not now, it should be Revolution. So, but the Continental belt seems like one of those belts that you can change over in a show like this. And you could change any belt over like this, but you know what I mean. I feel like this is a good one. It's going to be a great. All matches will be great, but this one it's more guaranteed because we know who it is and how they wrestle against each other. But I cannot wait for this. This will be great. Not match of the night. But whatever's going to be match of the night, it's going to take some beating because they're all going to be incredible. I think Takeshita takes the Continental Championship here. So after this, we have our AEW Men's World Title #1 contender match between Andrade El Idolo versus Hangman Adam Page. Now, I think this is very hard to call because AEW's got a very good track record of choosing what's hot and when to strike when the iron's hot a lot of the time, especially in stuff like this. I feel like Andrade is that, but Hangman's the more logical step. I think, personally, they're going to do the shock and go for Andrade. I don't know why, I've just got this feeling Andrade's taking it. And whatever call they do is going to be great, because the thing is, right, you got to look at it. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but let's say hypothetically, I think it's going to be Max. I do think it'll be Max who retains. But I feel like Hangman and Max obviously have that history, so that builds a lot. But you also have the Andrade and Max feud waiting to be done, and I feel like that has to happen. And I feel like there's no better way to do it than now, because Andrade's hot. People will be cheering for him, unbelievable, back end, even though he's a heel. Same with Max. The feud, it just feels like the right time. It feels like the right time to strike on Andrade with Max specifically. And the belt elevates it, and it helps Andrade's stock rise even higher, which is insane to say. Hangman does. The thing is with Hangman, right? If you have Hangman win this, and it's him and Max again, it feels like you're backed into a corner to have Hangman and Hangman win the belt again, and then eventually go down the Kenny route and stuff. I don't think that's on. I think it's, if Max is going to drop to anyone, I don't think it'll be Hangman, and I don't think it'll be Andrade either. I feel like there's going to be a bigger reign than, sooner. I feel like Andrade wins. It gives Hangman more to do. I think Hangman does suffer from that sometimes, where he has not a lot to do. So I feel like this is the perfect time for Hangman to take the L and Andrade win. Andrade in that main event scene with Max for a feud for Revolution. I see that more. I see Max versus Andrade at Revolution, and I don't have a problem with that. I feel like that's definitely the way to go. And frankly, I think it'll fuck. On the match, this match will be incredible. It really will. I love Andrade as of late. Hangman's such a reliable guy, and you know what you're getting out of Hangman. It's a constant 8, 9 out of 10 wrestler. This match will be incredible. This is possibly my most anticipated match of the night. Just because, one, it's more Andrade, and two, I mean, Hangman and Andrade, if that doesn't excite you, what the fuck are you doing watching Grand Slam? So I think I think Andrade wins this, but I think the match, this is my most anticipated match of the night, and that's saying something because, Jesus, this is going to be great. So after this, we have our hair versus hair match. Whoever pins gets their hair shaven, between Toni Storm and Orange Cassidy versus Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta. Now, they've really built this match up. I think they're really building this big time. The obvious answer is Yuta gets pinned. It's the obvious call. But I feel like the way it's being built, I don't know, it feels like... This is the thing, right? I think Orange is out the question to be shaven. But then again, it's like, I just don't think Orange is going to get his head shaven. I can see Marina Shafir with no hair. I think she'd rock that as well. I think that'd make her just even more demonic. I think that'd benefit Marina Shafir, honestly. I won't be against that. Wheeler Yuta's the obvious call because, you know, everyone's been screaming for that man to get a haircut, as they should. And, frankly, I think Toni Storm's that fucking batshit insane to do it. I think it's... The obvious call is to just say, yeah, Yuta's going to get his haircut, and it feels like that is the way they're going to do it. But I don't know, there's something in me for a few weeks now that's been saying Toni's going to shave her head. I've just got a feeling. Prediction-wise, I just feel... I've got this feeling that Toni's going to shave her head. But, honestly, it could be... It's between Toni or Yuta for me, but Marina would fucking rock that look. Honestly, if they give Marina the shave... If they make Marina shave her hair, I swear to God, that's like instant Jesus Christ. We have the star of all stars. That'd be incredible. I'm just going to put my neck on the line to make it more fun. I think Toni's going to shave her hair. I think the match will be fun. I've never really seen a hair versus hair match, you know, except for the classic, so I haven't seen a modern one. This could be fun. This could be fun. I don't know, it feels like... I don't know, I feel like the intergender matches, this one's been built up, so how much are you going to build it up to the hype? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the biggest issue it's got in itself, where they've built it up so much just because of the ending. So it feels like the match is kind of inconsequential, but... Honestly, the big thing for me is you have to build Toni and Marina. Sorry, that's got to happen. And you got to have Mina Shirakawa have some involvement. That makes sense. You're probably got to have some Death Riders involvement too. So, either way, I think this will be fun. I don't think it'll be my match of the night. I feel like it's just... to me, it's either Toni or Yuta's going to shave the head. Yuta's probably, but I'm just going to guess Toni to make it more fun. Because I've just got this feeling she's going to. And if there's someone who's that insane to do it, it's Toni. But this will be fun. Definitely be fun. Now, after this, we have the TNT title match between Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. The 7th match, and it's a ladder match, so the title will be hanging. I am not a fan that this is the match that's happening in terms of, I feel like Kyle's first TNT match back as champ. It could have been somewhat a bit more interesting. But I'm not going to sit here and say Kyle and Briscoe won't knock this out of the park. This will probably be match of the night in terms of quality in ring. Probably will. But it just doesn't excite me as much as it should. And I love Briscoe. I love Fletcher, obviously. I love both of these wrestlers, and I love their previous matches. I just feel like you could have someone a bit more exciting. I don't know. It feels like there was something else, an option there. And it's not my job to say who. But it just feels like there was something else there to do. And I just feel like they didn't really capitalise on that. But either way, I love Kyle Fletcher. The atmosphere, it goes without saying, the crowd in this entire event is going to be incredible anyway. But this match, I think this match will really grip the crowd. I think it'll be great. I think Fletcher wins. I don't think that's a hard call. But I think the match will possibly steal the night. I feel like this is... I'm more excited for Andrade and Hangman, obviously. But this, I feel like, in terms of just how insane Briscoe is and their track record and, you know, the trust they have to build a match and further elaborate and it being their hometown for Kyle, so they're going to push that even more. I think this will probably be match of the night, but it will be very fucking good. And I think Kyle retains, obviously, but after this, I just hope Kyle and Briscoe just keep their separate ways for a good while. But either way, the atmosphere, Kyle's entrance alone is going to be impeccable. I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait to just watch this. But yeah, it's... In terms of 1v1, it doesn't excite me, but you know they're going to pull some crazy shit, so I'll look forward to it from that respect. So, after this, we have the Babes of Wrath versus Mega Bad, Penelope Ford and Mega Bane, for the AEW Women's Tag Team titles. I think they've got... So, the thing is with this match, they have Harley Cameron as the hometown, you know, wrestler here, and it's going to be a big draw. The obvious call is to have the hometown hero win yet again. I think genuinely they should have Harley and Willow drop the belts here. I feel like that makes the most sense. I feel like Penelope and Megan are in as belts. You know, it's a shame that Penelope got injured. I feel like you got to drop the belts. You got to drop the belt here. I feel like that would be my... I get it if they don't because it's Harley, but you've got to drop those belts to Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford sooner rather than later. This seems like a good chance to do it. You know, you don't have to force yourself with so many title changes. This one feels like it's earned. This one feels like it's correct, and it kind of gets the women's scene, especially Willow being TBS champ. And it gives Harley something to do too. So I feel like it'll be a fun match. I do. I feel like this will be the Babes Wrath's best match. I do. I feel like that, you know, will push Harley a bit more in terms of motivating. Not that she's not motivated, but you get my point. I feel like Penelope and Megan do win here. I think they should win here, especially. I think that's very important to note. But I'm not the biggest fan of the women's tag division. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's not being booked correctly. I think the roster's too thin for it. But this, I feel like, get Megan and Penelope the belts. Let's just roll. So I feel like this is a course corrector. You know, give them a nice moment. Give Harley that, you know, Harley's lost, she's in the ring, and then she's getting clapped by everyone. Whoa. But you know what I mean? Everyone's giving her a round of applause. But that could be fun. But yeah, I think they should drop the belts to Megan and Penelope here. I think that's very important for me personally. I think that makes sense. And our main event at Grand Slam Australia is the AEW Men's World title match between MJF and Brody King. Now, I said it earlier, I'm just going to say it right now. I think MJF wins. I think that's obvious. I think Brody King fucking massacres him here, though. I feel like that's very important. You got to keep Brody just destroying the man. You got to have the choke on very early, and MJF manages to break it. I think the match will be fun. You're obviously going to get full ice chance. That's not a shock. But either way, I think this match will be great. I think it'll be really fun. I think the audience will be really up for it, especially with Brody supposedly getting blocked from TV. We don't know if that's true. Whatever, I made a video on it. I feel like this will be really fun. Max always gets the best out of crowds in these situations. It's going to be very similar to the Mystico match in terms of atmosphere, I think. The dogs are going to be, that's going to be fucking great. The finish is the big concern, the obvious main question, and I do think it will happen. I think Buddy returns. I think this is the easiest opportunity to have Buddy Matthews return. I think it's more than time. I seen a video of him on Instagram not long ago where he jumps, and I commented, he's jumping, he's going to come back. You know, I was fucking losing my mind seeing it. I think Buddy comes back and costs Brody that belt. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the easiest way to go. I don't know if Buddy turns heel on Brody. I don't know if it's an accidental costing. Whatever. I think Buddy has to cost Brody. And if you lead that to a feud between Buddy and Brody, you could have Buddy versus Bandido, maybe. Whatever. Bandido's got to have some involvement. I know he's out injured, but he's got to have some appearance. Maybe if just in the entrance, he's just standing outside, you know what I mean? But then, yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Bandido's got to have an involvement for me. But Buddy's coming back here. I think that's obvious. If they had the balls and they want to do MJF faction shit again, you have Buddy work with MJF. That could be fun. But, you know, kind of like the Seth thing. But Buddy's coming back. I'll make a bet with anyone. Buddy comes back here. But I'm not shaving my hair. I've already cut it. But I think the match will be great. Again, I think MJF wins. I think this sets up a lot. Obviously, you're going to have some sort of interaction with... This will probably be the main event. Probably have some interaction between him and whoever wins Hangman versus Andrade. I think it'll be Andrade. That'll set up a lot. But the big thing, obviously, is I think Buddy Matthews returns. I think it really incites a Brody push again in singles. Maybe just him and, you know... You got to have that. That'll be really interesting. But either way, this match, I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be a great main event, and will cap off an excellent pay-per-view level show. I cannot wait. So yeah, that's my predictions for Grand Slam Australia. I will say I believe there is some spoilers going about. I seen one small snippet of a match starting. It was the MJF vs Brody match. I won't say what happened. I didn't see anything of the match. It was just the bell ringing, and you know, you can guess what. But yeah, it doesn't affect my. Nothing really affects my. Well, nothing has affected my predictions. I've seen nothing else, but I would warn because obviously there is a massive time difference. So try and stay a bit, you know, distant from social media, you know, because there is dickheads who will spoil this shit. And yes, I cannot wait. I really can't. I love Grand Slam. I love how it's just, fuck it, let's just go pay-per-view level, and it'll really build a Revolution great. And what do you think? Who do you think's going to win out of Hangman and Andrade? I think that's a big question. But yes, I cannot wait. What are you most looking forward to for this card too? Because I think it's going to be excellent. I cannot wait to talk about it after, well, tomorrow, frankly.